Hey friends, Cap here with Welsh Creative. Here with another video. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing, which I'm really excited about. This is a screen exposure unit, and we'll talk about what I'm going to use this for later in today's video, but let's get started. Alright, so this is how the box comes. I will post a link in the description of where I got this from. I got it from eBay. It is a vacuum LED exposure unit. There's various different kinds of exposure units. This one particular one has what's called a vacuum, and when I get it open I'll explain how that works. There are LED exposure units, and then there's also exposure units that use halogen lights, folks that do DIY and build their own. There are exposure units that use fluorescent lights to expose the screen. Typically LED exposure units will have a faster expose time than fluorescent. So that's the beauty of having an LED unit. This one here will do a 20 by 24 inch screen, which is perfect for what I need. They do make smaller units for folks that have smaller screens, but I wanted to start with this size as that's the kind of screens I'm using, or the size screens that I'm using. So it comes like this. It's fairly heavy. It takes a couple people to kind of move it around, but first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this band off, and then I'm going to take all the screws for this top piece here. I'm going to take all the screws off, and then we'll take the lid off. I'm not going to bore you with taking a video of me unscrewing screws. That doesn't seem very fun, but let's get that top taken off and that band cut, and then we'll see what's inside. Stay tuned. Keep these screws just in case. So it came with these. The top and the sides are all bound together with these pieces of sheet metal. Pretty well, constructed as far as its container to ship it. Let's hope it did its job. And of course, like a nerd, I'm gonna keep the screws for a possible later project. All right. So here's the big unveiling. Top here, and it comes with a styrofoam piece here, and let's see what we got here. We've got some instruction manual here. It does come with a compressor that sucks the air out of the screen. I'll show you that when we get to it. Got some more styrofoam for protection during shipping. Looks like these are lights for the inside. This here is the tube that goes from the compressor to the top of the unit, the door. A bag full of stuff here. This is oil for the pump. This looks like some sort of a handle. More styrofoam. More styrofoam. Looks like they buckled this baby in. vacuum pump that I'm going to put below my bench, and I'll route the wires up to the unit up here on the left hand side of my bench. Put that over here. So let me pause the video and we'll get this baby out of the box. This thing is heavy, so if you do have help, get help to open it. So let's take out this plastic. Looks like this is the front side of the box, and that's the back. My airline is on the right. I was hoping it'd be on the left so I can route my, we'll figure something out here. I would recommend being very careful when cutting plastic off, because this is neoprene. There's some little moisture in there. The thing I'm concerned about is the glass that's in there. The piece of glass that the screen lays onto. That's my only concern. Even though it was packaged really, really well, you never know. Right, so let me take you off the tripod. I'll give you a little tour around the box. Okay, so these are the latches, obviously, that hold down the top from when you open it, and it keeps it pressed down on top of the screen. Here's our timer, which we can set. The crucial part of this unit is getting your exposure times right. And what I mean by that is how long you expose light to the screen. That's really, really crucial, especially when you're dealing with halftones and high detail images or projects. So that's going to be crucial. There's a lot of videos out there about exposure times, and there's calculators you can get that help you dial in that time. Here is the air hose valve where the air gets sucked from this bag and pushes down into the image. And this goes down into the pump. My power button here is my power cord for my where my vacuum pump goes, fuse, and then power for my lights. This is a shock to open and close. Not sure. It must be an in and an out, like a loop. We'll have to figure that out. Heavy duty hinges. All right. So let's open her up. All right. Look at that. Very nice. So it looks like they give us an extra one of these, just in case, I assume. One burns out. Pretty cool. Looks like during shipping, that one came loose, which is not a big deal. Pretty cool. I'm going to open up this glass here and fix that. It's going to drive me nuts. And then we'll open up the manual here and figure out how to hook up our vacuum pump, and we'll get it put over on the spot it's going, and then we'll test it out. Be back in a flash. Alright, so I opened up the black bags that came in the box, and this is what I've got. So I've got this here is the handle for up here, and then the screws go in the back, and it's got an Allen key on the inside of that. They've actually provided an Allen wrench, which is nice, and it comes with some spare parts and a fuse for the lights. And I'm trying to figure out what these guys are for. I know that, sorry, these guys, I know that this and this are nice. I didn't even realize it came with it. I fixed the light in the back with just lifting this up by own, but I think this is to lift the glass up to clean it, which is handy, and to change out the lights if I need to. Not a very good manual, to be honest with you, as far as, you know, how this all this gets put together. Sorry, I wasn't on the instruction manual, but this is what it came with. How to use the timer, steps to use the timer here, or excuse me, the machine. So let's get the handle put on. That's pretty simple. And I'm going to figure out what these are for. I'll let you know, because this guy here doesn't say a darn thing about it. But we'll figure it out. Be right back. Alright, so I got the handle put on here. Pretty obviously easy. What I haven't figured out is how this thing is supposed to work. It does not suction at all. So I don't know, unless they have to be wet, I don't really know. And these things here are quite the puzzling ones. I don't know what in the world they're for. And I don't know what the deal is. I have no idea what they're for. They can't be feet. I'm just thinking maybe that they're feet for, maybe they are. Maybe that's for the bottom. Well, that's what I'm going to use them for. Crazy, right? Alright, so that's what I'll use them for, I guess. But there's, again, zero direction. And then the picture, you can't see these things anywhere on here. I don't know. But this thing here is useless, as far as I can tell. It's crazy. Alright, so I'm going to get this moved over into position, and we'll hook up the compressor, get that unwrapped, and see what happens. I'll be back. Alright, we've got a problem here. So let me tell you where we're at. So I've got the vacuum pump hooked up to this tube. This is your relief valve up here to once you're done exposing the screen. This is your open and close button. And I've got the timer set to roughly 4 minutes just to give it a test. Now here's the problem. I've got the screen on the glass. Actually, it goes this way. And the problem is it doesn't close. This is all I get. And what it looks like is this ledge here is the problem. I almost think if it's not the whole thing, if I'll even have enough clearance. So what I'm going to have to do is somehow cut this out, which I don't know how the hell I'm going to do that. So I don't know. This is all glued on here. So I don't know how I'm going to trim that. Back to the drawing board. We'll have to figure something out. Alright, so wow, what a project this turned out to be. So apparently the screen, the glass itself on the top of the exposure unit is 21 by 25. Assuming that it would take a 20 by 24 inch screen. Well, because of the vacuum exposure situation, the frame that's built for that, it's got a lip all the way around the lid. So what I did is I took a jigsaw with a metal blade and cut the ledge that's you see here. I cut it completely off to give me that full width. So now I'm going to cut this other side, see if it fits. But just a warning, if you're using 20 by 24 inch screen and you go with this unit, you're going to have to do this. If you got smaller screens, then you're going to be all right. All right, let's give this a try. Well, okay, here it is. Ended up having to cut all four sides, but it was definitely a chore. But now I can get a 20 by 24 inch screen in here. Took me a couple hours, but I got it done. I put some tape, some black utility tape around the edges to clean it up a little bit, just so you can't tell I cut it. But got it done. Now I'm going to put it back together and we'll do a demo and see how it works. Out. All right, so I think we got it all done. It took a lot of work, but I think we got it. That was the key, is that width. And when I saw the dimensions, of the glass, I figured, well, that's what it would accommodate, but clearly that's not the case. First thing you want to do is make sure on your pump, make sure that you fill it full of oil. It doesn't come full, so make sure you do that. You don't want it to run without oil. It does come with some oil in the kit. But all right, so let's give it a quick demo. Clean the glass always before you're actually gonna do something, expose the screen. But since we're just gonna be demoing here, so you set your screen up like that, and then I'm only gonna expose it for 30 seconds just to show you. Whatever, depending upon the emulsion that you use, that will change that. Also, the image you're doing. If you're using half tones, you don't want to overexpose and underexpose. So there's a lot of different tips and tools and calculators out there that'll allow you to expose, to expose your unit. And so that's going to be a trial and error situation. So the first thing you want to do is close your box. And then you're going to latch your box downwards. And the first thing you're going to do is turn the box on. Make sure your valve is closed, your relief valve is closed. That kicks on the vacuum. So then you wait till the neoprene is sucked up against that image or your screen. And you can start to see the frame start to show as it sucks all the air out between the screen and the top. Once you make sure all that's looking pretty good, you start your timer, and as you can see, that light is showing and exposing from the bottom to the top. Pretty cool. As soon as that light turns off, as it just did, you can turn off your pump, open your relief valve, which relieves all the air in there. Open up your top, and there you go. And now you can move on to your next screen. Well, there you have it. All finished. Boy, it was a chore, but we got it done. All right, Cap, let's wrap us up. All right, friends, so I just want to wrap this video up. It's been a few days since I've gone back and closed this unboxing video up. Wanted to real quick close up with a couple things. Again, this was a lot of work that went into this, and unbeknownst to me, the dimensions of the top of the glass being 20 by 24, that wasn't the case in this situation. I think the issue is with this being in a vacuum exposure unit, the top of the lid needed to be reinforced with all the bolts going on here that you see. So that's the brakes. But I've got it to work as you saw in the video. I do want to clarify one thing. These things right here that I couldn't figure out what their use was for. Initially, of course, I thought it was maybe legged or something for it, but that definitely isn't the case. It's actually for the top edge of the screen. And the way those work is you put them in the corner there, and that way it doesn't scratch the glass, I'm assuming. There's 4 of them. One of them fell, but however, with the design of this particular exposure unit, it's not going to let me use them, based on me just being able to barely close this lid and get it to fit in there, which is fine. I'm not too worried about it. That's all I've got. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please make sure you like and subscribe to all my content. This is my 3rd video. The next video that we're going to have is an unboxing again. I'm going to leave that a surprise for you, but make sure you check that video out. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, ideas, how I could have possibly gone a different route on making this box usable, but it worked out. I'm pretty happy with it. I may have to come up with something different to clean up these edges here where I've used that tape, you know, to kind of make it look better. I don't know how long it's going to last with opening and closing the unit. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But again, thanks for joining us on our video here, and let's Cap, let's take us out.